Shalom, everyone. I wanted to come on here and read First Adam and Eve, chapter 3 and 4. Elohim said to Adam, I have ordained on this earth days and years, and you and your descendants shall live and walk in them, until the days and years are fulfilled, when I shall send the word that created you, and against which you have transgressed, the word that made you come out of the garden, and that raised you when you were fallen, yea, the word that will again save you when the 5.5 days are fulfilled. But when Adam heard these words from Elohim and of the great 5.5 days, he did not understand the meaning of them. For Adam was thinking there would be only 5.5 days for him until the end of the world. And Adam cried and prayed to Elohim to explain it to him. Then Elohim, in his mercy for Adam, who was made after his own image and likeness, explained to him that these were 5,500 years, and how one would then come and save him and his descendants. But before that, Elohim had made this covenant with our father, and Adam, in the same terms before he came out of the garden, when he was by the tree where Eve took of the fruit and gave it to him to eat. Because when our father Adam came out of the garden, he passed by that tree and saw how Elohim had changed the appearance of it into another form, and now it shriveled. And as Adam went to it, he feared, trembled, and fell down. But Elohim in his mercy lifted him up, and then made his covenant with him. And again, when Adam was by the gate of the garden, and saw the keruv with a sword of flashing fire in his hand, and the keruv grew angry and frowned at him, both Adam and Eve became afraid of him, and thought he meant to put them to death. So they fell on their faces, trembling with fear. But he had pity on them, and showed them mercy, and turning from them went up to heaven, and prayed to Yahuwah, and said, Yahuwah, you sent me to watch at the gate of the garden with a sword of fire. But when your servants Adam and Eve saw me, they fell on their faces, and were as dead. O my Adonai, what shall we do to your servants? Then Elohim had pity on them, and showed them mercy, and sent his angel to guard the garden. And the word of Yahuwah came to Adam and Eve, and raised them up. And Yahuwah said to Adam, I told you that at the end of the 5.5 days I will send my word and save you. Strengthen your heart, therefore, and stay in the cave of treasures, of which I have before spoken to you. And when Adam heard this word from Elohim, he was comforted with that which Elohim had told him, for he had told him how he would save him. And this is chapter 4. But Adam and Eve cried for having come out of the garden, their first home. And indeed, when Adam looked at his flesh, which was altered, he cried bitterly, him and Eve, over what they had done. And they walked and went gently down into the cave of treasures. And as they came to it, Adam cried over himself, and said to Eve, Look at this cave that is to be our prison in this world, and a place of punishment. What is it compared with a garden? What is its narrowness compared with the space of the other? What is this rock by the side of those groves? What is the gloom of this cavern compared with the light of the garden? What is this overhanging ledge to shelter? What is this overhanging ledge of rock to shelter us, compared with the mercy of Yahuwah that overshadowed us? What is the soil of this cave compared with the garden land? This earth strewed with stones, and that planted with delicious fruit trees. And Adam said to Eve, Look at your eyes, and at mine, which before I beheld angels praising in heaven, and they too without ceasing. But now we do not see as we did. Our eyes have become of flesh. They cannot see like they used to see before. Adam said again to Eve, What is our body today compared to what it was in former days, when we lived in the garden? After this, Adam did not want to enter the cave under the overhanging rock, nor would he ever want to enter into it, nor would he never want to enter it. But he bowed to Elohim's orders and said to himself, Unless I enter the cave, I shall again be a transgressor. Shalom.